All right, so welcome to another Champions Guild video where I have a special guest today who is a personal friend of mine. And we actually met when you saw one of the adverts for Scrap the 9 to 5 on YouTube. And then we met, I think, at several live events since then. So joined today by Mr. Matt Cook, man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Amazing, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, anytime. No, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it because I really wanted to speak with you, mate, and just dig into your journey and the progress that you've made in your business. And really the idea is going to be for anyone watching who is kind of in those early stages. I think to hear that journey that you've been on and hear some of the results you've produced, some of the shifts that you've made, and ultimately how you've been able to create that result from walking the journey, I think is going to be one, very inspiring, but two, also very valuable to help people understand how to connect those dots and how they can move from, you know, somewhere maybe where they're not happy, not fulfilled in their current situation into the space that you're in right now, which I think is fantastic. And we'll dig into this even more. So correct me if I'm wrong with any of this, any of these stats and numbers, Matt, but what I understood about your journey so far is that you started in September 2018 was when you came across affiliate marketing. At the time you were working a full-time job. Is that right?
Full-time, yeah. Estate agent. Yeah.
Estate agent. Cool. Good stuff. And then you, by December 2019, kind of started getting some traction in the business. So we're talking just over 12 months later, 4K months. So we're getting to the point of like starting to, make replace an income, make profit. And then by, was it May 2020 was 5-figure months?
Yes.
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 Cool.
Yes.
So glad I got that right. Awesome, mate. So can you talk us through just first of all, what were the first parts of that journey like when you first discovered affiliate marketing, you're working in your job, like what was the thing that kind of inspired you to start to make that change and walk that path?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So let's rewind. Let's start with September 2018. And at the time, just turned 26. I was, I suppose, in my corporate job, sort of like where I wanted to be, like dream position. I was the youngest manager in my firm as an estate agent by like 10 years. I've been there for like 2 years in that position. And on paper, I was where I wanted to be. I was doing well, but I just felt this massive sense of like unfulfillment. And actually, I actually felt more broke than I'd ever felt before, even though I was earning more money than I'd ever earned before, because just naturally at that position, I just acquired more debt, nice car and everything else. And just being honest with you for a moment, like 12 months before that, I lost my mum to cancer. She was 50. And one thing she said to me, me and my wife before she died was just go out there and like live your best life, like travel the world, do everything you want to do. Because when you're in my position, you'll realize like how precious life is. And I had that ringing in my ears for like just over 12 months. I was still a manager at the time when she passed away. And I just kept thinking like, I'm not living my best life. I'm not doing what my mom said I should be doing. I can't see how my life's going to change. Like, yeah, okay, I could transition from a manager to like business owner in a estate agency. And I looked into that and thought, well, I'm not going to be like part of the rat race. I'm going to own the rat race. And I just thought, well, you know, where's that going to get me? And it was actually 2 weeks before I saw your ad that my wife's grandma forced me into having reflexology. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's touching your feet, which freaked me out to start with. And he didn't know me. And we sort of sat there and he was doing reflexology on my feet. And he just sort of said to me, so Matt, you know, tell me a bit about yourself. And I just said, I'm 26, I'm an estate agent. He said, I didn't ask what you did. I asked who you are. And what I realized in that conversation was I was a shell. I was just an armor. I was just telling people I was an estate agent. And what he wanted to actually know was who I was as a person. And I couldn't answer that question. I didn't know who I was. And I realized that 10 years in the estate agency had virtually turned me into like this just robot. And it really sent me on this path of discovery to just want to just create a better life, but actually admit that I hated my job. And I didn't actually like the stress and everything else that came with it. And it just got me on this rabbit run of like, you know, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, those sorts of videos on YouTube. And then that's where I saw you. I remember it well, mate. It was like 10 p.m. on a Sunday night. You popped up and there was just something about your cheeky face. I was just like, I was just like, I like the sound of this guy. And I just watched it, mate. And I literally didn't even watch the free videos. I
Mm.
just signed up there and then, like straight away. Like I just trusted you so much. And the morning after, like the Monday morning, I actually said to my wife, like before I'd even submitted my application, I found something that's going to change our life. I was 100% confident, mate, that day. Before I'd even submitted my application, I was in, but I hadn't done anything else. I even like recorded myself a video for the future to say like, I'm going to change my life with this. I was like that sure of it. And yeah, so sort of through September and October, mate, it was just like head down outside of like work, just getting through the modules as we do, positioning at elite just to make sure I was surrounded by the right sort of people, mate.
Mm.
And just have my head down in those first few months. And yeah, throughout the rest of 2018, it was just finishing the modules, getting the website done, like being 100% sure, started marketing in the January, and then made my first sale at the end of January. So that was like the very first part of it, mate, and how I got into it.
Awesome. And just for anyone who's not sure, what Matt's talking about here is an education company that teaches people how to build affiliate businesses. And it's actually, funny enough, that was how I started as well on my journey, was like same education company, teaches you the foundations and so on. So why affiliate marketing? What was it about, you know, when you saw my ad and
Yeah.
you got involved in the education company and then started learning about how affiliate marketing and building an affiliate business works? Like, why was that the model that really stood out to you?
Yeah. To me, it was the mind-blowing prospect that you didn't need your own product or service to get started with, right? And this educational company really did open my eyes to the lifestyle, the ultimate lifestyle that can be created from affiliate marketing. I actually thought you had to have something tangible, like a physical object to sell online in order to create an income. And I think watching your video and then listening to the mentors within the company talk about the fact that you could promote other people's products, it just gave me this realization that I could get started from scratch with relatively nothing and start generating an income. So that to me was what I just loved about affiliate marketing initially, just not having to worry about the customer service or anything else, just actually starting.
Got it. And you mentioned something actually when we were speaking before this that I wanted to pick up on, because I thought it was so powerful, and it was about this perspective of do I have to sort of sell online, because I don't necessarily want to be a salesperson. And you came from a sales background, I came from a sales background, and you said it and I felt it, that in a way that actually held us back.
Sure.
Because the whole mindset of corporate sales is very different from if you're starting a business online. You really don't want to be selling to people. Can you just share that perspective that you shared there about the shift that you made before you started getting the results in your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So for a good 6 months, so from January to sort of like June, July, I really didn't get any results. I didn't get the results I wanted to get because I was trying to be a salesman. Right. That's what I was. That's where I come from. I was trying to sell people on the front. I was coming to go cross sales in my ads. And it wasn't until I invested in myself and, did some life coaching to understand who I was on a deeper level that I realized that actually affiliate marketing, all it is inspiring action. We're here to open doors for people to create a better life. We're there to motivate, but what we're not there to do is sell, because as affiliate marketers, we don't ever sell. That's the whole point of the product or the service of the business owner. They sell on their sales pages or their videos or their webinars. So why am I selling? And it was that perspective that actually stop focusing on money and sales, focus on helping people change their life. And it was that change in perspective in August 2019 that completely catapulted my business.
Yeah.
So that was the change. In fact,
love it.
Like you said, we're both salespeople, but I really don't think you need to sell to get results.
I think, mate, that is such a powerful perspective, because there's so many people, I think, that don't start a journey of building a business because there is a fear, I don't know how to sell, like I couldn't sell, I don't have sales training, this is going to be such an uphill battle. But actually you don't need that. If you're the type of person who really enjoys providing value, helping people, connecting with people, understanding people's problems and helping them solve those problems, really just creating value in the world, then that's the foundation. That's what you need. That's your role as an affiliate marketer, as building, you know, an affiliate business, is to be somebody that understands people's problems and helps them solve it by recommending solutions, products, services, etc., that will do that. So I love that perspective, mate. Brilliant.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you for sharing that.
No, you're welcome.
So let's talk about then when you started creating the result, you started seeing, you know, that impact that you were creating was being, you know, there was a financial return for that. What would you say were some of the major challenges, Matt, that it took to get to that point? Like, what did you have to overcome, either in yourself or, you know, in the business? Like, what were some of the major breakthroughs that you made?
Sure. So I actually made the decision at that point. I was so confident that what I was doing was going to work. I quit my job. My wife and I actually together, we both quit at the same time. And it was a massive risk. But, you know, when you're so confident and aligned with your dreams and your mission, then you just go for it. And it was do or die for me, like literally. So it was like the biggest risk at the time, but I was like 100% confident. And I actually, I heard you talking about your own journey, and I really did lean into that fear. And realized actually that when you break the boundary and you lean into it, it's not as bad as it actually is, because what's the worst case scenario? You just go back and get another job. Yeah. But actually being in that position with my back up against the wall, it really did inspire me to really like try and just go at this like a bull in a china shop and just try and help as many people. For me, my biggest, I suppose, things that held me back, you know, maybe even, you know, on a daily basis would test my mindset, was just the fear of money running out. I think, you know, I had like a certain amount of savings, like 6 months, and it really was detaching from that and trusting, spiritual as it sounds, I am fairly spiritual now. I wasn't, but almost believing in the universe, you know, and just that, I have my back, you know, I'm just going to let go. You know, I'm just going to go for it. I'm so aligned with it. What's the worst that's going to happen? And I think detaching myself from money, although actually money was everything, because it was what was going to help me survive, really, and focusing more on how can I help each and every customer, new member that comes through, really create their best life, transition towards this. That was what helped me, mate. And it really was detaching myself from that. That was throughout that period of 6 months. That was my biggest challenge.
Got it. I think we had a very similar journey in that respect, because I can certainly relate to that, and it was very much the same. Like there was it's almost like this shift in, you start trusting at a much deeper level. Like you trust yourself, you trust that the journey that you're on, you trust that the result is going to come even if you're not seeing it there at the moment, and really just letting go and just moving into the fear, like stepping through the fear. And the thing about like quitting your job, again, I think that's another thing that holds a lot of people back. They feel, oh, you know, I can't quit my job now. You don't need to quit your job straight away, because you didn't quit your job for, was it the first 12 months or so?
Yeah, 12 months. And by that point, it was worth noting I'd already figured out what didn't work.
Yeah.
So you know, by the time I quit my job, I was confident about what would work. You know. Yeah. So that was the difference. If I'd have quit in September 2018 when I first saw it, I would have failed for a year, you know. So I would honestly say that, you know, look at your job as your ticket to freedom. You know, it's going to fund, and actually, you know, it becomes enjoyable then, because you realize that the investment is coming from your job and it's helping you towards your freedom. It was at that point of quitting that a few things were happening in my corporate world in a state agency. It was just a perfect timing, you know, it just aligned perfectly for me. Still a big risk because I hadn't had any results in my business. But I knew
you had that confidence and that belief that you were able to do it.
Yeah, because I knew what didn't work, what hadn't been working for 6 months, and it was sitting down and taking 2 months out to figure out what would work that worked. And I was 100% sure of it. That was the thing, you know. I just knew it would, and it did.
And I suppose to get to that level of certainty, that wouldn't have happened unless you'd gone through the whole process beforehand of, like, you know, improving your skills, doing the work, putting the effort in, failing, and just figuring it out. So what would you say to someone, Matt, who they're kind of thinking about starting, right? Maybe they're watching this right now and they're thinking, okay, you know, I get that I get the idea behind affiliate marketing. I get that this might be a way that I can create the result. Maybe I'm not certain yet. I can't see the destination. I don't really connect with it, but I'm thinking of starting. what advice would you give to someone who's in that space right now?
If you're even debating, if you're even asking yourself that question, then you've just got to start. Because, hindsight is a wonderful thing. And,
Yeah.
Time and life goes so quickly. And, we've all had similar journeys. It's never going to be a walk in the park from day one. You learn a new skill like walking or riding a bike for the first time, but just say to yourself that what could your life look like in 12 months from now? And if it's in your mind something better than it is now, then it's got to be worth starting. I honestly think now, I started for different reasons pre-COVID. I started for lifestyle, freedom, travel. I actually would say to people now that we're in a world where it's never been more obvious about the digital world, and the fact that it's never been more important actually for your own financial security, in my opinion, to leverage the online world. Create additional streams of income, even if you love your job. What's stopping you now just opening your mind to the reality of the prospect of earning additional streams of income around what you're doing now, and just making your life a little bit more comfortable? How would that change if you could have additional streams of income through, let's say, affiliate marketing like me? And it's only going to grow. And I think COVID-19 has just highlighted that, about people just flooding to the internet through no choice, really. So that's what I would say. Like, if you're even questioning yourself, just start. Even if you've only got an hour a day, just try it out.
Yeah, and I think that's such a powerful thing to think of in the grand scheme of like, what's important to me in my life? What do I want to achieve? Do I want to be doing what I'm doing right now in my job for the rest of my life until I retire? And if you do, like, that's great. You're doing something that you love, and that's the important thing. But if you don't, then if something's going to change, when? Like, how much longer are we going to wait until we take action and move forwards? And so it's like just having this perspective of, what is it that I want to do in my life? If I'm lying on my deathbed one day in the future and I'm looking back over my life, what am I going to regret not doing? What is it that I will feel that I've missed out on? Like, what is important to me on a values level to achieve and create and do and spend my time doing in my life? Do I want to be there watching my kid grow up, or do I want to be with the people that I love? Do I want to go traveling with my other half? What is it that you want to do in your life? And if you can make that a priority and make that a focus, and then develop a plan to actually make it happen, I think it's so important to get that tied into, in this case, a business journey of starting an affiliate business. Because I think for you, Matt, I've always got the sense that, this bigger picture stuff, like the purpose and the values and everything that you want to create in your life, like, that has been a major driving force behind everything that you've done. It's not just about the money. Can you talk a little bit about more about that? Like, has it always been the case, or was there like a shift or something that you got that made it more important? And if so, how did that serve you on your journey? Like, just talk a little about that.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, the one thing I will say is I've always been money hungry, from a young age. Paper round at 11, just always wanting to earn, more money for myself. And when I first joined this educational company, it was to earn more money. That was the immediate drive. But, when I invested in myself in the summer of 2019 and actually understood who I was as a person, and I wanted to do that because of what my reflexologist said to me a year before: who are you, Matt? And, tens of thousands in my own personal development and coaching to explore that at a deeper level, really pulling back who I was as a child, how my parents were, and discovering that my actual purpose in life is to happily help and support others create their best life, right? So I thought to myself, now I've got that purpose statement. Now I know what my mission here is to do. My mission here is not to make money. It's to help people create their best life. So surely if I help people create their best life, money will just be a byproduct of that, and it will just hump me down behind. So that's when I really focused on, well, how can I do that in affiliate marketing? And for me, it was setting the goal of 100 lives, 100 new customers for that business, which would equate to a certain amount of financial reward as well. But instead of chasing the money, I'm chasing the value by changing 100 lives. So everything I do now is actually to help other people create their best life, not ever to make money. But I just know the money will naturally follow behind, because if I see one new life as one new member, it's the same thing. It's just how you do it. So instead of seeing numbers, I see lives. It's the same thing, right? But I think if we chase money, if we always think about money, every email we write, if money's on the mind, how's that going to come across to how if we write an email based on how can we change someone's life? It's still going to result in money, but it just comes across differently. And at that point, I just noticed my whole email list start engaging, just, you know, and that's what I wanted. I noticed an email list of no engagement to an email list of high engagement. And then that's what I would say, you know, and I've just focused on helping people, mate. It's as simple as that.
Love it. How would you say, or why would you say investing in yourself is so important?
Why is just because, like, you just it's a why is it so? Because if I hadn't have invested in myself, I wouldn't be where I am right now. You know, it was a risk at the time financially, but I just thought to myself, I looked at my heroes in life. I looked at the person I wanted to become in life. And I said to myself, if I'm not willing to step outside of the square box and do something differently, the chances are I'll carry on where I am right now. You know, investing, it wasn't just financially investing in myself, it was investing in myself for the greater good, right?
Yeah.
And I had to do that to discover what I was here to do. And yeah, that's why investing in yourself is just so important. Like for that exact reason.
Yeah, I love it, mate. I've always thought like, because I too, we have a lot of similarities, I think, in the way that we see things and approach life and see business. And like for myself, I always had this idea that if I'm not willing to invest in myself, if I'm not willing to back myself, if I'm not willing to, you know, put money on the line to help me create the result that I'm here to create, well, you know, how realistic is it that I'm going to push myself past the challenges if I'm not even making it important enough to put money on the line? And let's be honest, in the grand scheme of things, like your life, your time is far more important than money, especially if you're, you know, currently trading time in an income, in a career to earn an income, and the money is currently tied to your time. Well, you say, well, how much time would I be willing to put into making this happen, into creating this result, into building my dream life? And if we're not willing to put anything on the line to back ourselves, then you've got to question how important it is. And I think the more that we can realize, again, going back to this exercise of like, when I'm on my deathbed one day and I look back over my life, what will I want to do? If you go, well, that is really important to me. Well, how important? How much, like, what are you willing to put on the line to back yourself on this journey of making it happen? So yes. I love that perspective as well, mate.
There's one other perspective on this, actually, mate, that you've just reminded me with. It was actually your perspective on this. So for anyone watching this, like Dan, like you say, personal, great friend of mine, inspiration from the start, you know. But one thing you helped me with when I first started really considering investing in myself, it was that whole perspective of, if I was to look at a crystal ball and look at my future and see myself living my best life, you know, discover my purpose and what I am. And I knew that I'd need to make a certain amount of steps to get there, make a certain amount of investments to get there, you know, and I absolutely know with confidence I'm going to get there. Well, when I'm there and looking back at what I've invested and what I've done, I wouldn't care, right, of what I had to do to get there. But the problem is when we're from this perspective and we're looking at where we want to be, the hurdles are greater than looking back. And if anyone's watching this right now, I can say hand on heart that I started this with no money, really, right? My wife lent me money to get started. I really had nothing. It was huge risks at the time to make this work. And looking back now I've created my best life, and I look at the financial investments I've made and invested in myself, I can say it was worth it. But when Dan said that to me, I was very scared. You know, you just got to do it and trust it. You've got to 100% believe it and feel it, you know.
Love it. Awesome. So final words. If somebody is, let's say that they are feeling the fear right now, they're feeling, you know, the bit of hesitancy of starting the journey, maybe even there's some skepticism or something like that of, do I build my own business online? Is affiliate marketing really going to help me create the result? What advice would you give to someone who's maybe got a bit of sort of fear or skepticism or something going on in the background right now?
Sure. It's completely normal to feel like that. You know, you're not human if you don't feel slightly skeptical or nervous about stepping into this space. You know, I did, put up by quite a Victorian father who told me that really the corporate world 9 to 5 was the only way.
Mm.
But if you're here right now, even watching this video, you are like 99% ahead of the rest of the internet population who are open-minded. And I want to congratulate you for just being there right now, right? And I think if there's just a part of you that knows that there's more to this, and just start, just give it a go. Like, regret to me is a big thing. I know my mom had a lot of regret when she passed away, and it's one thing I didn't ever want to have, like no regrets, right?
Mm.
How would you feel in like 12 months time or 2 years time if you just saw the internet explode and just how easy it was, and by that point it maybe got a little bit too hard to get in, like, whereas now you're in a position where you can just get started, just dip your toes in the water, just give it a try. And do you know what, if it's not for you, then you've just given it a go, haven't you? You've tried.
Mm.
But to me, regret is just too much. That's why I always just try and just see whether it's for me or not. And that would be my advice, just start. If you know.
Perfect, mate. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time having this chat and just sharing your journey. And again, I just want to kind of take a minute to congratulate the journey that you've been on and how you've now got to the other side. I mean, to go from like, again, we talk about 12 months as a benchmark, and obviously disclaimer, no results are typical. Just because one person starts a business, it means that everyone else is going to do it in the same time frame. Not the case. Like joining a gym, you can't say because one person has six-pack abs, everyone who joins the same gym is going to get six-pack abs. It's on each individual person as to whether they're going to create the result. But like this 12-month idea, if you're looking forward in 12 months and you can look back and say, I started this journey, I took the steps, I put in the effort, and then I created the result. Like such a powerful perspective to be able to have, like, what do I want my life to look like in 12 months? And so for you, mate, I just want to, recognize that journey that you've been on. And in that sort of 12 to 18 month period, completely replacing income. And then finally as well, and I just want to finish on this, being in a position to now really create something that is so aligned with your purpose, that is just the next level beyond affiliate marketing. Can you just tell us a little bit about like what having the financial foundation from affiliate marketing has now helped you be able to create in your life?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Dan. Really appreciate that, mate. Yeah, absolutely. So, I got to a point where I created like what my best life looked like on paper. My wife and I were financially free. We're living our best life. COVID strikes, and I realized that, actually I can't travel, can't do anything. And James and I, a good friend of mine, same educational company, we really focused together, growing together, and then helping our own members. And over a period of 6 months, we saw our own members through this educational company start getting some incredible results just by doing what we'd done. And we just sort of said to ourselves that, if we can provide and get these sort of results for other people's companies, then we can do this ourselves. And actually, if we're aligned with our purpose, we can really help our own customers coming in. And this is when James and I decided to actually create our own academy, aligned with our purpose, our vision, to help as many people all around the world step into affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing is what I'm aligned with. I absolutely love. I think it's the best business model to get started with. And that's where we are now, looking into 2021, being in a position where I'm not just an affiliate just for that one educational company we've talked about, but multiple companies. And now in a position where I now own, with James, my business partner, my own academy, where we're now teaching people those exact steps. I couldn't be more happy, and I'm really excited now to be in that place. So, and again, you just don't know where you'll be when you start out. And that's also why it's just so important to get started and love the journey, because I just, as cheesy as it may sound, I just love my life and I love the journey I'm on, and I'm just excited to see where it will go. Right. So.
Perfect. Yeah. Mate, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Congratulations again, buddy. And sure we'll catch up soon. Obviously, when we can do live events again in the future, hopefully not too long. I'm sure we'll have another meetup. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Dan. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, buddy. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.